Hi Lisa, how are you? Triple barrel question. Could you define God, please? The reason I ask is that I find the term dualistic coming from a predominantly Catholic country where the Judeo-Christian God is envisioned as an old white-bearded man in the sky that is looking down from the clouds judging everyone. The term seems confusing from a non-dual perspective. Do you define God as what is empty, formless, etc.? If so, would it not be less confusing for Westerners who grew up in predominantly Judeo-Christian societies to use a different term? Cheers. Yeah, thanks, S. As a Nisargadatta Maharaj, he defines God as the creator of life. And he says he is not the creator of life. He is the witness, the consciousness, the watching. And God is the creator. And God creates for him. I kind of find that really sweet. Like obviously there's not the division, the two-ness, but that's his way of trying to describe it. So God is the creative energy, which is painting this picture in order for him to watch. I'm sure he changes his mind and says it differently because that's the nature of speaking, you evolve and change. But yeah, in a lot of passages in I Am That, he speaks about God in that way. And I think that's really nice and sweet way to speak about it. For me, the way I see God is I see God as the no thing, the everythingness, the empty looking, big consciousness, and the beingness, the impersonal I am. I used to just call it the I am or amness, but yeah, Nisargadatta's books has such an influence on the way that I speak. Coming more and more in line with him just because I read it so many times a week now with groups. Yeah. And then you ask if it would be less confusing for Westerners who grew up in predominantly. To be honest with you, I don't give huge amounts of thoughts about what's confusing or not confusing to people because I think that would get me in a twist if I thought about better ways to speak about things. Doesn't mean I haven't changed because I am influenceable by what is around me, and so the way I speak will change. But I don't really think about that. It's a bit like, have you ever thought about driving when you're driving? Don't anyone do it. I'm not suggesting you do it because it really messes you up. Like your body does it. Like so, in the very beginning, maybe you had to learn a bit. Then after a while, your body just found the pedals correctly. This is maybe more for Europeans because I think in America a lot are like automatic. But when you've got a gear stick and you've got lots of pedals, you just have to let your body do it and trust it. And if you think about it, it gets confusing. Like I can't really think about where my foot should go. My foot just knows where it should go. And the reason that I notice this is because in England we drive on the opposite side. When I switch over, occasionally in the past I've made the mistake of trying to think about it. But you've got to let your body feel it and find itself. So if I drive a mainland European car, which is the opposite car, my body has to. My body doesn't do fully opposite because the pedals are kind of the same, but it does the opposite with the stick. So we got that. And then also, if I swap countries, it's everything's back to front or opposite way in a way. And I discovered, so I've been doing this for like 12, 10 years maybe. This move between England and mainland Europe, going between the two. And it really is like you just have to allow it to happen. Thinking messes it up. So when they come to like a really complex junction, which I have to say the most complex junctions actually in the UK. We have mega roundabouts in the UK. They're so complex. I really feel sorry for mainland European drivers. But when I come to a complex junction, like in Paris or something, I just have to kind of go with the dance of it and follow the cars in front and not give it too much thought and allow it to happen. Because otherwise you get yourself in a tizwaz. And that's the same in the way in which I speak, is I kind of just have to allow it to happen. Yeah. And just have to move out of the way and let it be spoken. And through time, my ideas or the ideas in this body or the ways of speaking, it can change. But generally, I don't think about how I should speak, because then I think that eventually I wouldn't be able to speak. I did so much training in this subject and had so many experiences, and I can update and improve, but that kind of happens naturally through time. So now I just have to let the body speak, or let the energy speak. And if God wants to come out, then God has to come out. And if it's confusing for Westerners, then that's the karma of it. Then they will go to other speakers. It's kind of the same when you play an instrument as well. If you give it too much thought when you're doing it, you can't do it.